like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Cowboy Nation, how are you doing? How you doing, Miss Charles? Miss Charles is in the building right off the bat. How you doing, Miss Charles? Being right in the building. Thank you so much for joining in, Miss Charles, coming in the building and supporting me and being on this live show. Um, Thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for coming in. Um, we got a very interesting topic today. I wanted to run through this topic um, uh, very quickly because I know that there's a lot of content creators about to go on. I know Boss Cowboy and all the rest of the guys, Big Time Show and all the rest of the guys are gonna come in. Hey, Miss Ginger is in the building. Yes, man. Uh, thank y'all so much for coming in the building. And I got a very serious topic, and I hope y'all use this topic not only with these Cowboys, but this is a topic that if you could use this in your own life, but it's very important for this Cowboy team. This topic I'm gonna talk about today, and the topic today is: can we handle success? If you notice right now, all media outlets, everybody's talking about how good this unit is, how good Pickens is, how good the offense is, how good is the defense good, what the Cowboys have made additions, how great Dak is playing. Is this team, if this team gets to the playoffs, we're gonna be a dangerous. Everybody, there's very little negative feed on any of the channels. Even when I go around myself, people talking about, well, y'all, man, y'all might be, y'all might make a playoff run. Even when I was talking to some people today, the Cowboy fan, we got Cowboy fans talking about we gonna win out. There's nothing, we gonna win every game. And I'm not a, I really do hope we can win every game, but I do know one thing about football. Football gives you nothing, and football does not play it on paper. Football is not talked about. You can't talk your way into making a block. You can't talk your way into making a tackle. You can't talk your way into making a first down. You can't say what I did before, I can do it again. It's about performance and mindset. And this team has had a big problem with handling success. And that's part of the culture build, people. The part of the culture build that Schottenheimer is talking about. Do y'all remember when Schottenheimer talked about during the all season about we're trying to teach the guys how to practice, how to prepare? What he's talking about is teaching his team how to prepare all the time so you never too high or you never get too low, and you understand the work that you put in is what you have to continue to put in to gain the success or to get out of a rut. The measure of a good player, probably a measure of any of a person. A lot of people say the measure of a good player or a good team or just people in general is how they handle adversity. But the real measure of how mature you have gotten, how your team has grown, how you have grown personally, is how you handle success. When people start giving you all the praise and you start climbing the mountain, how do you stay to the grind and get better? Or do you succumb to all the accolades and all the talk and slip up? This is another test for the Dallas Cowboys for me. Now, it may not be the biggest test because we know who Detroit is. We know Detroit is a good team. The players know Detroit is a good team. The players also know that Detroit tried to run the score upon them last year. So that may have some motivation in that locker room, even the ones that ain't here, but it's talked about. But we got to be careful that we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And I'm not saying the banana in the tailpipe is saying that we're garbage, that we can't win all and we can't do all that. No, I'm not saying that. This is not Coach Marv being a downer. I believe we got the talent to do all that. But I do understand we got to put in the work. And you got to have the right mindset with the work to work. It's not going to go in there. Nobody's going to give the Cowboys all this accolades. Everybody talking about the Cowboys. You think they really care about the Cowboys because they give the Cowboys credit? These are the same people who've been ripping us all year long. And now all of a sudden that they're talking good about us. We really think that they really mean good? Do you know what all these pundits and all these ESPN, the 4-letter network, the 3-letter network, and all these pundits out here that's talking about the Cowboys? You know what I call that? It's a great statement that Nick Saban put out there. Nick Saban talked about this all the time. When his team goes out and went out and win game, he said everybody make our players feel like they're the best in the world. And all the people who really don't care about us always praising us about how good we are. The same people who was killing us, now they're praising us about how good we are. All that is rat cheese. And it's poisonous. That rat cheese is to make us get complacent. See, the same intentions that we took to dig out of the hole to get back to over 500, we got to even put more emphasis to continue to get better. Have we arrived? No. Do we think we arrived because we won 3 tough games? No. That's what I keep telling you when we start talking about contracts, about signing Pickens and getting guys signed and this free agent, or we start talking about Dak should get MVP or he should be in the Pro Bowl. I understand what y'all saying, but when we start putting that stuff out there and that's the subject of conversation, yes, I understand we're not on the team, but we're contributing to the rat poison. Rat cheese, which is rat poison. We're contributing to that when we're talking about Dak MVP. I understand we want Dak to be MVP. I understand that. But that's something we talk about when the season over with. I understand we want George Pickens signed, but that doesn't mean nothing now. And I'm gonna say this: do we really think that we're making his price go down by talking about, oh, he's the number one wide receiver, we need to sign him now? Like he's gonna take Whatever you give him now, if we telling him we making it pumping it up that he know, no. But that's not our job. Our job is to root for this team to win and to win games. And right, Miss Charles. Miss Charles made a comment. Let me get back to her comment. Because I want to make sure we understand what her comment was. Miss Charles said they're not praising the Eagles now. No, they're too busy praising the Cowboys. They're not praising the Eagles. They're all praising the Cowboys now. And why are they praising the Cowboys? Because they want the Cowboys to get the big head, and they want the Cowboys to stop playing the tough football that they've been playing. They want the Cowboys to start getting overconfident, and they want the Cowboys to blow up like the Hindenburg in front of the eyes. They're pumping them up so any adversity they can blow up. And I'm not telling you that we don't need to root for our team, but our team is not the best football team in the NFL because really, regardless of how hot we are what our records say we are. We're a team that's a little bit above 500. Now, y'all might say, well, Coach, you being a doctor. No. That's how they have to understand where they are. Because when you start thinking too much of yourself and start making excuses that you could have been 8-5, you could have been 9-2, you could have been so and so. You're setting yourself up for failure because why you're not is because of your performance. Are we gonna fall for the rat cheese? Are we gonna fall for the rat cheese? Can we handle success as a team? Can players handle success? One thing about the Cowboy Nation, and one thing has been the hindrance of us. And I'm gonna give y'all what's been our hindrance of an organization that's probably has kept us away from um this probably have kept us away from getting into playoff games and getting into and winning playoff games. The thing that has probably kept us away from yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Miss Charles. I've been around players a lot, and for one thing is the worst thing in the world. There is a let me put this up here, I don't want to disagree, but I want to explain myself when I see this statement. You know, and she probably saying the media is not pumping, but these players are pumping themselves up, which is good. There's never good for a player to pump himself up. See, your play pumps you up. See, you have to go on the prefaces, never be too highly above yourself. There's a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence, and either one of them can underconfidence. And remember, I told you I talked about it in the last show. I say confidence, but there's a thin line for being too confident. See, I think back to the Green Bay game. I think back by the conversation I had with I can say it now, Coach Fowler, Dante Fowler's um, father. The conversation I had with Boss because he was at the pep rally. We were a good football team, and Green Bay was not even closer to our level of talent. But we were overconfident. This team should not feel that they're better than that they're championship contenders. They should feel like, hey, we're a good football team. But they shouldn't feel like they're championship worthy. They should be hungry to be championship worthy. They should be hungry for the other people to say that you're championship ready. See, humbleness is a key to success. And yes, this team is playing with confidence. I like that. I like when you have confidence. You have confidence and swag. And I always want, and I want to preface this and back to, but let's go back to the heyday. And I hate to go back to heyday, but I can't go back to the heyday when I talk about confidence. Jimmy Johnson wanted his players to get up and play and dance and do all that and have swag. Ever since he was in Miami. Do y'all remember that Jimmy wanted his players to have swag and have that confidence and that bravado that they were just better than everybody else and run around and do all kind of crazy stuff? He wanted them to have that. And they had that what Miss Charles was talking about. They had that 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 swag to them. But guess what else Jimmy did? He made them feel every day they weren't good enough. Yeah. And he made them feel every day that they had to prove how good they was the next day. That's what I'm saying. 6-5-1 don't impress me. Do it again. I'm not talking about contracts until we get to the end of the season. How can I talk about contracts now and we may end the season 6-10-1? See, we have to have the mentality that we hadn't climbed the mountain in 30 years. And that hunger should make us always, every day, say, hey, man, y'all don't think we good enough. That's what I want from this team. Because the moment we start thinking too highly of ourselves, that's when we're going to hurt ourselves. So that's what I'm looking for. Can we handle success? I got a saying that's coming out. I'm gonna have some shirts, and the saying that, and y'all might have seen it in Twitter. If y'all follow me on Twitter, and my saying is this, and I want to see if y'all can understand where I'm coming from, Cowboy Nation. The saying I have is yesterday cannot win today's battles, and today can't win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused and stay in the moment. Yesterday can win today's battles, and today can't win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused and stay in the moment. What does that mean? What we did against Kansas City, what we did, see, yeah, I can understand that. I can get your point. I think I think we don't think that they can feel highly of themselves. I can understand that, and I listen. I think sometimes people thinking that I've been in this a while, and I think some people think that I'm downing players when that I for now try to make sure that they understand where they at. They're 6-5-1. That's who they are. 6-5-1, and not in the playoffs at this particular point. If they feel that way, I ain't worried about the rest of the season. We're gonna get a angry team with with good talent that we got, and we're gonna. But if they start thinking that we already arrived and people gonna lay down for us, they're gonna run into a bruise. But let me go back to what my statement says. Yesterday can't win today's battles, and today can't win tomorrow's battles. And well, let me explain to that. What we did in Kansas City, Philadelphia, and the Raiders cannot. It's not gonna win the battle we're gonna play tomorrow night. It starts all over again tomorrow night. And what we do on tomorrow night is not going to win the battle against the Chargers the next week. Our backs against the wall. There is no time for us to say, yes. Only thing yesterday does for you today, and it does what Miss Charles is talking about. It builds some confidence that you can do well. Yesterday does build confidence. It lays the groundwork to handle the problems of today, but it can't win them. The only way you gonna win the day's problems, the day's battles, is you got to put your pull your bootstraps up, put boots on the ground, and you got to go out and perform today. And when you perform today, is not gonna win tomorrow. Tomorrow, you can set yourself up with the mentality by today, but you got to go into tomorrow in the moment, pull your bootstraps up, get yourself focused, and perform that day. I have seen this team over and over and over again for the last 5 years get beat by teams that shouldn't even hold a candle to us. And I watched us go out and play bad. If you're a Cowboy fan, everybody who's a Cowboy fan, we have seen us go up and down. We have seen us go on runs and then end up the biggest games or teams and lay an egg. It took us 10 weeks this week. It took us almost 9 weeks this year to win back-to-back games. This is no down in our team. This is not telling them they're bad. To make your statement in football, consistency, sacrifice, and confidence. Are we going to be confident to sacrifice all the accolades for the team? Because I need to see this team get better than they were against Kansas City. And then the next week, I need to see them get better than they were against Detroit. Nobody wants to talk about handling success. Everybody think we could talk our way to winning out. But let me tell you something about this league. Nobody's gonna lay down for the Cowboys. Nobody. And with all the talk going on, everybody's gonna count this as their Super Bowl. Oh Lord, yes, it's really their Super Bowl now. No, it's not focused on the past. This player, the mentality. See, games. Let me say something. Games. What happens in games? You always go through coaches say what happens in games happens because every game is different. But your mindset, it carries on for years. You have some people who have a losing mindset, and it carries on for it, and you have to break the chains on that. See, certain things are what we call generational. See, football and life is a microcosm. Generational. It may be a different story, but the same generational problems happen over and over again. There has to come a time where this team gets over the hump of saying we're changing the mindset. When Schottenheimer comes in to talk about he's changing culture, he's talking about the past and changing it forward. That's where you change culture. See, culture lost us Green Bay game. Because we came in and did the exact same things we did in playoff games in the last 5 years. This is what Schottenheimer is building. And this is a test, people. Let's just get the star-colored eyes out of eyes. Because if we pass this test and our team you will see it. You're gonna start to see when you start to see, and it's not that you're gonna win every game, but you're gonna start to see a consistency in our play every game, and then you're gonna start to see us when we can be able to correct ourselves. You're gonna see it. And when you see it, like you're starting to see it a little bit now, then you ain't have to worry about it. It's not going to be talked about anymore because the culture is set. Because anytime a coach start talking about changing culture, what is culture? Culture is history. They don't talk about changing culture because they say, well, we talking about what's happening today. They talk about the things that have caused us to come up short in the past. He said he wants us to be the best cultural organization in football. He wants to put in a place where we can handle adversity and we can handle success. And we're gonna go out and dominate, regardless if you patting us on the back or you kicking us in the butt. But I want this team to understand what they are. They got to understand that we are 6-5-1 team. And after we win on Thursday night, they got to understand we are 7-5-1 team. And after we win on San Diego, they got to understand that we are 8-5-1 team. And then we move on into Washington and win that game. They got to understand that we are 9-5-1 team or 10-5-1 team. And after they win, we win against the Giants and we end the season at 11-5-1. We got to understand that we're 11-5-1 team. We may be divisional champions, or we may be, if we in the playoffs, we in the playoffs. And they got to understand that, hey, we are not the champions. And they got to play accordingly. Like they're trying to prove to you every week that they're trying to climb up that mountain. See, the climbers of the mountain don't get halfway up and start partying and talk about how far they don't climb. Or start talking about, oh, I'm a really good climber. Because you hadn't finished yet. Finish the task at hand. Now, some people may say, well, Coach, you being real hard or you being down. No, I ain't. Because I know that all these people out who praising my Cowboys, my friends, and talking about, man, y'all look good. I know that's a bunch of BS. I know where they're coming from. They'll say you're looking good, and the last thing they'll say, oh, y'all will fall apart at the end. What 30? How many is 32 teams in the league? 31 does. 31 gonna fall apart at the end. It's only gonna be one that's gonna finish the task. I don't need to pump Dak Prescott up. I don't need to pump Dak Prescott to get MVP. I don't need to pump this young offensive line, which I think this one of this young offensive line is probably going to be one of the best offensive lines in football history if they stay together and stay healthy. I don't need to pump this defensive line up because I know this defensive line probably can be one of the best in the NFL. I don't need to pump the two receivers up. I don't need to pump them up. What needs to be done is do it again mentality. Pay the fee every week. Pay the fee. Focus, effort, and execution. And understand this is what I said, and I'm going to put shirts out to say it. Yesterday does not win today's battles. Today does not win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused, stay in the moment. Stay in the now. Because it's what you do right now is what people are going to talk about. They may remember what you did last week. You go and lay an egg against Detroit and don't come to show the play. All that you did with the Eagles and what you did in the chart and the Chiefs and what you did with the Raiders, then I ain't gonna talk about that no more. They're gonna talk about Thursday night. There is not, listen, but y'all, there is not a report. Go on every network you want to go on to. And there is not a network that's got a negative story about the Cowboys right now. Not one. And that's how it's always be. It always that way. Soon as we, I mean, we won 6 games about 4 or 5 years ago, and man, you could, and that's right after the game that Dak had against New England, and they was talking about, they kept talking about the greatest game against New England. They said Dak was MVP. They were talking about how we great we was, how we this and that. We was gonna be first. Middle of the season, we talking about, they talking about we gonna get the number 1 seed and they're gonna break a drought and all that was going on. Then we laid the egg against uh, Denver. Well, that happens. Ain't no, that's not no problem. That happens. But what happens with a young team is what happens with a young team. You can't. Sometimes you don't have adversity. And listen, you got to understand when coaches say certain things. When your coach come in and say he trying to change the culture, what does culture mean? Culture is not talking about the current. When he talks about we got to teach our players how to prepare. He's trying to get our players to prepare every day so we can handle any type of adversity that comes our way. And he's doing a good job. But this is a test. This is the first time this year that we have been on the good side. Well, maybe the first time this year we've been over 500. This is the first time we had a winning streak, 3 games. This is the first time we've been over 500. This is the first time we have had some confidence building. So this is this coaching staff and this coach dealing with this brand new situation right now. So if we don't think that's a test about how we handle that, then we missing the boat here. And that's what I'm saying. This is a brand new situation. How can they handle success? What is Schottenheimer going to say to this team? Is he how are we going to keep this team locked in? And I'm really speaking to the leaders. That's why I want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and share this. I should have that little thing up there, share. Please share this. Share this in your football groups because I'm trying to get this in the building. For somebody to say, hey man, we can't be, we got to be grinders. We can't get overconfident. I don't care if they say, well, that other guy, Coach Marv, talking about we just 6-5-1. When he talking about we ain't nobody. Well, I don't care. Because you are what your record say you are. And I wouldn't be on here talking to them if I didn't think you had a chance to be dominant. It ain't never been about players, talent. It's been what I have been saying since day one is what goes on between the 2 ear holes on that helmet with 55 guys and coaches. How locked in are they on the task to get through adversity and not eat the rat cheese and come out and be consistently good over and over again? You know what makes Hall of Famers? Not just great play, consistent play. You know what makes great business owners? Not people that just got a flash in the pan, consistent ones. No, it makes great musicians, people who do music, not people that come up with one hit wonders. It's people who consistently put out great music over a spending amount of time and they can consistently do it. What's great about great teams, the run that the 49ers had, the run the Cowboys had 2 times, the run Pittsburgh had for 2 times. I mean, one time. The New England Patriots run for about 20 years. The run that Kansas City is right on now. Even the run, I want to say the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And they still at the top of this division now, close to the #1 seed, but it's consistency. And we're building that. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm down the Cowboys. I'm calling it the way it is. I want our Cowboys players to stay hungry. Y'all ever heard that song said what the gambler, Kenny Rogers the gambler? And the song goes something like know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. But there's a very key part of that song. And ain't nowhere to run, ain't nowhere to hold them. It says, you never count your money while you sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Know what that means? You never count your accolades while the season is going on. There'll be time enough to talk about them when the season's over. Stay on the grind, Cowboys. This is a test. The test is only going to get bigger. This is a test, a semi-test. Can you handle success? Because I think you'll be ready for this game because you know who this Detroit team is. But when you beat this Detroit team, like I think you're going to do, the next task is going to be even more if you could be focused. It's going to be even more when you get down to the last 2 games of this season when you got to play a lowly Washington team and a lowly Giant team. When you dig down and stay focused and mature to handle your business and keep your mind on your work. Or are we starting to eat rat cheese? I'm going to say it again. Today, yesterday, yesterday does not win today's battles, and today does not win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused and stay in the now. Stay focused and stay in the now because what you do today, it might prepare what you did yesterday. It might prepare you for today's battles, but it's not going to win them. What you do today, it might prepare you for tomorrow's battles, but it's not going to win them. Only thing that's going to win them is your play today. So Thursday night, you get judged on Thursday night. Not on last Sunday, last Thursday, Turkey Day. Not 2 Sundays ago when we came back from Philadelphia. Not the Raiders. We're going to take our talented team to Motown, probably already there, and we're getting judged from tomorrow night. If this team comes in with a mature focus, Ms. Charles, if you're still out there, if this team comes with a mature focus, Make sure you hear what I'm about to say. If Miss Charles, you still out there, there is nobody out there that can stand what we're going to dish out. And I believe that with all of my heart. But it's about, are we going to come mentally to pay the fee? Are we going to sacrifice all the other stuff that's going on in our lives right now? 45, 50 guys. We're not worried about throwing parties, parties, after the game parties. We're not worried about helping our brand right now. Because our brand is going to help itself if we keep winning as a team. We're not going to worry about all that right now. We're going to worry about sacrificing, consistent, sacrificing, confident play. That's what I'm saying, Cowboy Nation. I know this ain't the sexy topic that everybody want to listen to, but it's real. Can we handle success? Are we going to eat the rat cheese? And do we know, as my saying says, yesterday cannot win today's battles, and today can't win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused and stay in the now. Because what you do today is what people are going to talk about. Yesterday can prepare you, it can give you some confidence for the day, but it's not going to win it. It's about what you put out there today. Today might prepare you for tomorrow battle, but it's what you do tomorrow. And that cycle goes over and over and again. If we can get 53 guys, 55 guys, 70 guys, including practice squad, and coaches thinking in that same manner with the talent we have, and and start sacrificing and coming out and being physical for your brother. We got a chance, people. One game at a time. We're gonna make some non-believers. Some people say the 1-0 mentality. Yeah, we were 1-0 for one day. Now we 0-0. Tomorrow we got to take take to take that game as the biggest. Every game now got to be our Super Bowl. And if you consider every game your Super Bowl, I've never seen a team go in the Super Bowl not ready to play, not ready to get everything they got. I never seen a team. Hopefully, there's never been a team to go in the Super Bowl thinking they're overconfident. You trying to do everything you got to do on that Super Bowl. They got to beat you. You're not gonna beat yourself. So, like I said, Miss Charles was in the building. Some of the other people that were y'all was in the building. I like to thank y'all for coming in and watching me. There are some other content creators probably out there right now. I know probably Balls and Henny and Amp Sports and Big Time Show and a lot of other these people that I really rock with, man. They might be doing shows. Go out and make sure you subscribe to their. Please subscribe. I'm a little bit over 200, maybe 250 some subscribers away from getting to the real goal of one of my goals of 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to share and comment and share this video. We're not listen. I want to make sure you understand. I'm giving you content from a coach's point of view, and I'm giving you what coaches talk about behind the doors. Coaches don't listen. One thing about coaches don't want to do, they want players to be confident, but they don't want players to start getting cocky. because they understand that the other guys too can bust your bubble if you don't come to play. So I think this team has got a lot of talent. Been thinking this team got a lot of talent. I've always said um, it's not been talent that's been holding us back. It's been what's been between the two ear holes of them salesmen. And if we could get that part straight, people, if we could get the mental part straight, man, this team could go a long way. And it could be, listen, and this team is not just set up to go a long way for a short period of time. This team is set up to go the long way for and this is what I'm saying, and all the people out there. If we focus in and grind, one thing I can say about this, getting together to win any type of championship through all that stuff is one of the hardest things that these players gonna do together. And once you taste of how to climb the mountain all the way and all the sacrifice you have to do to get all the way up that mountain, to climb Mount Everest, you never forget it. You always know how to go about it. But if you, this is what I'm saying about our team, we hadn't climbed that mountain. So we don't have time to start feeling good about ourselves. We got time to feel confident, but we ain't got time to be patting ourselves on the back. We got climbing to do, baby. And I leave you again, man, like I always leave you. Let's keep our mind on our work. And T Smooth TV, remember this, man. Go back and watch my show, man. Appreciate you coming in, man. But remember this, man. Take this with Coach Marv gonna put some stuff out. Just like I got this, I'm gonna start putting this merchandise out. Here's my Coach Marv terrible towel. Right? I'm gonna start putting this merchandise out, man. I'm gonna have some of my slogans um typed up and put on some things, man. Some of the things y'all hear me, some of my acronyms you hear me stuff like just like I said, the star. I say the star in Dallas means the star stands for seen, talked about relentlessly. S starts for seen, the T is talk, the A is about, and the R is relentlessly. Y'all gonna hear the slogan that I just put out. I'm gonna put out on a t-shirt when I talk about staying focused in the now, and it's gonna be the same thing I've said. Yesterday cannot win today's battles, and tomorrow and today can't win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused, stay in the now. Stay focused and stay in the now. That's where we're gonna be doing this. So it's gonna be some stuff that's gonna come out, and we're gonna get there, man. All these other content creators, they're coming up with all these other ideas. Listen, they're just as focused as everybody else, and they're trying. Some of them may not agree with them, but I just want everybody to stay focused on football. All that other stuff we talking about, signing contracts and all that stuff, man, that's just to get us off track. Football is what's gonna win these games. But I like what these other content creators are doing, man. They're part of the conflict um Cowboy Nation. And if you were sitting in here with me and you switched over there with them, just say, hey man, I was listening to Coach Marv, and Coach Marv told me to listen to y'all and salute because we all try to support each other. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Somebody, I got a cash app from the last show. Thank y'all, man, for supporting the. You could do super chats on my channel here. You could do support the channel there if you want to. Um, you always can support me with the cash app. Supporting the channel. We're trying to do some other things. We're trying to get a studio background and all that stuff. But your coach is not really a computer thing. But my lady friend, my girlfriend, she's going to be helping me out. She's going to be the one that's going to be putting out some of this merchandise that I got, and we're going to support her, man, because not only we're gonna support, not only we're gonna advertise my stuff, but we're gonna advertise her cake business and her printing business that she has, that we're gonna have on our on my site, that you'll be able to order some of those things from her, and because we're gonna do some great things, dealing with the Cowboy Nation, as well as we're gonna start doing some other shows, because we're gonna talk about a lot of other things other than this football, because we got a lot of things that we want. Our thing is to reach out. I think God has put me in this situation not only to enjoy the Cowboys, but to put me out so I can have a word or something, or some of the wisdom I have to touch people in any other type of genre, or any type of other way that I can to uh, to touch people. I think if you don't touch people, man, you really don't. You really not worth it. I coached for many years because I like to touch kids, and for kids, for me to walk around now, and I could be it'd be a kid I coached 25, 20 some years ago. That he's a grown man now and got his own family. For them to walk up to me in the store and say, "Hey, coach, what's going on, man?" And if he got his wife and his kids there, and he could tell them, yeah, yes, I was an a-hole, but I changed his life. And that's enough for me to say that I did a good job. And I want to see us win six. I want to see us win six, but I know it's gonna take work. So Cowboy Nation, Cowboy players, Cowboy assistant coaches, Cowboy coaches, Cowboy players. I'm gonna say this again like I always end my shows. Get your mind on your work. That's gonna be on one of my shows, on one of my shirts too. Get your mind on your work. And remember, yesterday can't win today's battles, and today can't win tomorrow's battles. Stay focused in the now, because you're going to be judged about what you do right now. Until next time, salute.